Earlier, I got a call from a guy looking to unload an old Mercedes. So Corey and I are headed out to take a look.
Thought it was a Mercedes.
It is a Mercedes.
1962. The Mercedes Unimog, a German military vehicle.
Well, obviously it's a Mercedes, but it's totally not what I expected. I thought it was a car.
I called the guys down at the pawn shop to check out my Unimog. It feels awesome to drive this. I'd like to sell it because I need another project. I would love to get something like $22,000 for it.
All right, so tell me about it.
This Unimog was a model called the radio box, and the inside was filled with shells and radios. The Germans used to hide in the woods, you know, listening to the Russians during the Cold War with this thing. It was very, very versatile.
Yeah, these trucks are really cool. I mean, they have massive torque. It'll climb anything. It'll ford rivers. It'll go just about anywhere.
It also has an articulated chassis. It'll bend. So if it goes into a hole, it pretty much stays level all the time. It's meant to be off-road.
The Unimog was designed in Germany right after World War II. They were originally designed to be used on farms, but the things were so damn tough, they became popular with militaries around the world. So it's your standard military vehicle, extremely uncomfortable and bare bones.
Yep.
Can you start it up for us?
Sure.
It's an old Mercedes motor, but it looks in good shape. I don't see any leaks. The Unimogs are cool. It's every kid's dream to have a truck like that. It can drive through anything. But I've never bought or sold one of these things before, so figuring out a price is going to be tricky.
Okay, ready to buy it?
Depends on how much you want for it.
Well, I would like to get about $22,000 for it.
Okay, before I make you an offer, I got to figure out what this thing's worth. I don't think there's a Kelly Blue Book on Unimogs. So do you mind if I get someone down here, have them take a look at it, and let's go from there, all right?
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I'm thrilled that they're calling in an expert, and I'm very confident that it'll get a good report.
Wow, Unimog.
That's it.
Sweet, man. The guys usually call me to come check out any kind of a vehicle, a car, a truck, a hot rod, whatever it may be. It looks beautiful. The engineering in this is just way ahead of its time, man. I love that axle design. You know, they do that on the Hummers, you know, the H1s.
Yeah.
The portal gears in there. Keeps the axle high, but it keeps the vehicle lower to the ground. This was kind of cutting edge back then. But the Unimogs, I mean, they started off life as basically tractors, but their real forte was military use. The fact that the chassis flexes like that, which allows the vehicle to go anywhere, I really believe that the Unimogs were way ahead of their time. It sounds great. Have you driven it yet?
No. Do you mind if we take it for a spin?
No, please do.
I mean, when you really think about what these things had to do and it's still in this good a shape, that's a tough vehicle. Should we do a little off-road out here?
Yep, that's exactly what I planned on doing.
I love it. Yeah.
It's too bad they're just driving on these flat streets. If they took it, you know, off-road, they would have a blast.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to buy this thing.
Oh, yeah, man. It's comfortable. Everything really worked absolutely as it should on this vehicle. I think the spine's at least 2 or 3 inches shorter than it was before we started.
So is there a market for these things?
Yeah, there is, believe it or not. They've kind of got this cult following. It's not like a market for a Harley Davidson or something. You know, it's a narrower market, but there's a market for it. I've seen them going nice ones, $17,000, maybe $18,000 mark. I would classify this one as nicer, really nice. This is probably the nicest one I've ever seen.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, it should go for more than that.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me come out and do this, man. This was fun, and thanks for that ride, man. I'm gonna go get the blood circulating back in my legs again.
Thanks again.
Nice meeting you, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
I am fired up to make an offer on this thing. I could definitely sell it to a military collector or an off-roader who would actually use it. So how much were you looking to get out of it?
I'd really like to get 22. I think it's in such good shape. I've put a lot of money into it. It runs like new.
You knew when you put the money into it, though, you weren't going to get it back, right?
I think I did. I've done this before, so
Okay.
you expect to get some of it back.
It is in very nice shape, but it's not an easy sell. This is really limited market, okay? And I can give you 15 grand today.
Mm-hmm.
You walk away and it's done.
15 is a lot lower than I ever thought. I know you have to make a profit, but I mean, I would really say I'd take 18 right now, and that I think would be my bottom line. What do you say?
I'm the one taking all the risk. I mean, the motor blows up tomorrow, I'm stuck with it. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll do 16,000.
16.5, I think I can make a deal.
I'm looking at it's probably going to take me a while to sell this, so 16,000. That's what I could do.
Okay, we have a deal.
All right.
Thank you. I'm happy. You know, I'm ready to get on with another project. And now my driveway will be clear and I can get my other car out.
I cannot wait to show this to the old man. Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
What is this, a flute?
Yeah. No, it's actually a bass guitar that John Entwistle from The Who played and used. Let me take it out.
The John Entwistle.
The John Entwistle.
So this was John Entwistle's guitar?
Well, I don't know that.
Okay.
What I do know is that it was used on stage, live. He played it. He autographed it. And then the collector who got the guitar then got John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin to sign the guitar a few months later. That's what I know for sure.
It's really cool. The whole guitar thing has never worked out for me.
Yeah.
I'm like tone deaf, have no rhythm, and I got really fat fingers.
I'm coming into the shop today to sell my Kramer Duke bass that has John Entwistle from The Who and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin signed on one guitar. Pretty unique. I had it for 12 years in my collection. I would like to get $8,000 for it. If I get the full $8,000 I'm asking for, I'm gonna go buy some more guitars, because that's what I like to do.
It's two amazing signatures on a bass.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's a top 10 list out there somewhere of the greatest bass players ever, and both those guys would be in that list.
For sure.
I know Entwistle had hundreds of basses.
Right.
It's one of the weird things. He had so many of them, and so many of them were sold.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that were more identified, his signature models, they sold for a lot of money, actually.
This is cool. John Entwistle is considered by most the best bass player in the history of rock and roll. And right there behind him is John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. A bass guitar signed by these two guys, and not on just the pickguard, but on the guitar, is a rare, rare thing. Do you got any proof that Entwistle played it on stage, or?
I have a document that he played it and that it was autographed by him, and then I got on the same document that it was autographed by John Paul Jones, and that was notarized, and I do have that right here.
All signatures are authentic. The Kramer bass was signed and played briefly by John Entwistle in 1999. All right, this is a really, really interesting piece of paper, but it's worthless.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, what you have is a letter by Ed Malone.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. No one else on the planet does either. When it comes to autographs and stuff like this, you have to have like a real autograph company say that they're legit. Now, how much you want for this thing?
How about $8 grand?
Let me have someone look at it. Quite frankly, it sounds a little high, but when they're a weird guitar, sometimes people love them, sometimes people hate them. It's hard to figure out the market on them, so I'm just intrigued by the two signatures.
Okay.
So hold on a minute. I'm gonna get some people down here, okay?
Okay. I'm excited about the expert coming in, but I guess I'm a little nervous. I wasn't there to see them autograph, so I hope they're legit.
The legends of the bass, John Paul Jones and Entwistle.
Nice. Well, actually, I think Entwistle's one of the best of all time. I mean, you know, John Paul Jones is probably one of the most underrated bass players of all time. Based on the fact John Entwistle died in 2002, don't really see a lot of just guitars signed by him. So the fact that he signed a bass guitar with John Paul Jones on it, they're both pretty rare together.
We got some weird stuff going on here. We have like the world's worst paperwork on it.
You know, one thing I don't usually do is rely on paperwork for anything. It's really the autograph has to speak to me, so.
Okay.
Okay, I want to take a look at the ink first, obviously, compare the signatures, make sure they're good. And right away, you get a better idea. You take a look at that. That's a kind of a white paint pen. It's a little thick. Next one is Entwistle. That's silver. So you have two different colors on here, which tells me probably signed at two different times.
That's what the paperwork says.
Okay, so there's no doubt about that. Next thing I want to do is look at the exemplars on these guys. And the first guy I'll look at is John Paul Jones. And what we see here, I love these nice little J's here, but I see sort of the same formations here. Now, when I take a look at his autograph, always stacked.
Right.
Stacked John on top of Entwistle.
Right.
It all flows together. He had a really beautiful autograph. So based on everything I see here, there's no doubt this is 100% authentic.
Yes.
All right, so, I mean, what do their autographs go for by themselves?
Just on the autographs alone, not on the guitar, because that's not my department. About $1,200.
I think that's a little bit low.
I just think that's kind of the value, and then we'll see what happens with the guitar. You might be pleased, you know?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks, man.
Yep, you bet.
I'm just trying to figure out a price here, so let me call my guitar guy. I don't think there's anybody who knows more about guitars than this guy, so let me call him in and have him look at it. If you got a little bit of time,
Fair
hang
enough.
out.
Sure. I'm excited about the guitar expert coming in because I think that there's more value there, and I don't think that he can actually see it because all he does is autographs.
What do you got?
A weird Kramer bass, but it's signed by John Paul Jones and Entwistle.
So this is pretty cool. Where'd you come up with this?
I got it at an auction 12 years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of a neat guitar, something you don't see every day. Kramer Guitars was an 80s company. Few famous players out there. Gene Simmons from Kiss played a Kramer, and Eddie Van Halen. It's in decent shape, which is nice when you got something with autographs on it.
I had Steve Grad look at him, and this really is John Paul Jones and John Entwistle.
That's cool.
That's the story behind it also is that, you know, that's where it says that it was briefly played, so
Yeah.
there's got to be some value to that.
There is some value to stage played stuff, especially if it was a toured instrument.
Right.
You know, if it was something that somebody took on the road and
Right.
used for years and years and years, that usually drives the price of something up. Something that was played one night doesn't affect it a whole lot. I think it would be a very sellable bass, especially if you could track down a picture of him playing it that night. That'd make it really easy to sell.
So what's this thing worth?
The bass itself's probably worth $600-700. But like I said, the signatures on the bass as a whole package is actually pretty rad. Kind of judging by some stuff I've sold in the past like this, you know, you could probably pull 4 out of it, 4 grand.
Damn, I was hoping it was going to be higher than that.
It is a sellable piece. It's got 2 really cool guys' signatures on it. It's done on something unique,
Right.
which a lot of people will like. As far as anything more than 4, that's what I think realistically it would end up going for in today's market. It's probably right around 4.
Well, I respect that.
Thanks, man.
Cool. You know, if Rick can get into this without buying with his heart, he can probably make a couple bucks on it. That's cool.
Okay, with all said, what do you want for it now?
You know, I'm open to a fair price.
So what's your fair price?
Well, I guess in your world, as close to 4 grand as we could get.
I'll go 2,500.
How about 3,500?
I mean, I shouldn't even go this high, but I'll go 3 grand.
3 grand?
3 grand is more than a fair offer.
And that's your rock bottom?
That's not my bottom, it's my top. That's that's it. That's the most I can do.
That's a lot lower than I wanted, but all right, I'll do it.
Thanks, man. This is cool. I'll meet you right over there, and we'll do some paperwork. Just leave
Thanks.
this here.
Okay. I'm selling on 3,000 because it comes down to dollars and cents. Not making much money on the deal, but it's time to let it go.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I have a Woody Woodpecker Surfrider oil painting,
Okay.
1978, done by Walter Lantz.
Yeah, I deeply dig it. I loved Woody Woodpecker as a kid. Every guy in my neighborhood either got a Tasmanian Devil or Woody Woodpecker tattoo.
I almost did on senior year of spring break. Probably a good decision that I didn't do it.
I almost did, but I sobered up.
I bought this oil painting online about a year ago. As far as I know, there's 3 different Surfrider paintings that were done by Walter Lantz. I got it appraised for $10,500. I've always liked Woody Woodpecker because he's the sarcastic troublemaker and just could identify with that.
This is really neat because we have an original here by Walter Lantz. The story is that Walter Lantz and his wife were on their honeymoon, and outside their window was a woodpecker that kept on bothering them and bothering them and bothering them, and that's what gave them the idea for the cartoon.
Very cool.
His wife wanted to do the voice for it. Walter Lantz said, no, you're a woman and this is a guy, he's gonna have a guy's voice. But one recording came in, this person is absolutely great. They mailed back, hey, you're hired, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I realized it was his wife secretly sent in a tape to do the voice for Woody Woodpecker. So he ended up hiring his wife to do the voice, even though he originally told her no. Woody Woodpecker was the star in over 200 cartoons over 3 decades, and everybody still loves him. How much were you looking to get out of it?
Looking for 10,000.
I have no idea what that's worth. I don't even know, I mean, I don't know how big the market is for it or anything else like that.
I did have it appraised, and one of the interesting things the appraiser told me is that it's driven by the Japanese market.
Okay. It appears you have a little bit of damage right there. Even the slightest little thing can really affect value. Just hang out a little bit. I'm gonna give a friend a call. I'm gonna get him down here,
Okay.
have him take a look at it, and if there's a deal to be made, there's a deal to be made. You cool with waiting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I welcome an expert opinion just to kind of see what they come up with. Hoping to walk out of here with $10,000.
Woody Woodpecker, awesome. That's
The
great.
man himself.
Surfing a wave, that's pretty cool. Walter Lantz actually wanted to be a fine artist long before he was ever an illustrator. So he took night classes while he worked for William Randolph Hearst as a copy boy. Fate intervened. He thought he was going to be a fine artist, and then William Randolph Hearst opened up an animation studio. And Walter Lantz transferred over to that from being a copy boy, so.
I know there's a market for his cells, but is there a market for his paintings? You just don't see this.
Right, right. No, Walter, he like I say, he was very well versed and well schooled as an artist, and from 1972 till his death in the 1990s, he would depict Woody Woodpecker in oil paintings. So
Okay.
you can see his works come up for sale at prestigious auction houses like Bonham's and things like that. So he does have that reputation and that type of collector base. Let me take a quick look at it. It's not in bad shape. It was done in 1978, it says. Yeah, it has a little bit of dirt and staining. My guess is there was probably a smoker that owned it, and you can see the whole piece has kind of a bit of a yellowish tinge. Could probably use a cleaning.
Okay, so what do you think it's worth?
I think the record price paid for his work at auction was in the $3,500 range. Now, you would expect to pay a bit more in a retail setting. I think a value of this one in a retail setting would probably be in the $4,000 to $5,000 range.
Thanks, man.
Rick, always a pleasure. You'll see animation cells of, Bugs Bunny or, other cartoon characters, but it's very rare to see the original creator render them in a fine art media like oil on canvas. It's definitely unique. Will this be a work that's going to be really collectible 50 years from now? Time will tell, but for now, there's definitely a collector base.
So what do you really want for it?
8?
No, because I don't think I can sell it for that. I mean, I would give you $2,000.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm probably at about 7. I mean, at 2, I'm losing money off of it, and I still think it's pretty cool. And
It's cool.
the sentimental, the
Okay.
I don't know.
The thing is, I can't pay for your sentimental value.
Sure.
Okay.
I understand.
You can't monetize that, and I have to make a profit. I know there's not a lot out there, but it's what the market currently bears.
Oh,
Okay.
I think I'll hang on to it.
You change your mind, I'm always here.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. I'm not real happy with the offer. It's actually less than what I paid for it. I really like the piece. I'm gonna take it back, put it back up on the wall, and see what the market does in the future.
What is this?
And in a bunker complex in Cambodia, I found this oil painting. And it's Ho Chi
Okay.
Minh.
Okay. I mean, it's really weird that you have a painting of one of the world's greatest douchebags.
Sure, amen. Yeah. Ho Chi Minh was the enemy, of course. He died in September '69, so when I was in Cambodia and Vietnam, he's already dead, but of course the people were still there fighting us, so. I was hoping to get about $300 to $400 for this painting. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I have a little something here, too. I brought, this was me back in the day. That's in Cambodia when I was 21 years old.
Wow. So you got this off a wall or something?
No, in a bunker complex. The bunkers where the Viet Cong hid and shot at us and stuff. When we were in Cambodia, we came upon a bunker complex and a bunch of the NVA and Viet Cong soldiers. We had a little battle there, and we cleared all the bunkers of all the ammunition, mortar rounds, artillery rounds, guns. And I just found that Ho Chi Minh painting and figured I'll just throw it in my pack. Oh, it was hot, and you got wet every day, 3 or 4 times during the monsoon season. So you didn't wear underwear. You got soaking wet, and just hoped you could stay dry at night, because when it got to be 75, you froze.
Oh, yeah, my dad, multiple tours in Nam. I used to hear all the stories.
Yeah.
He God, he hated that place.
I remember my dad telling me stories about Vietnam when I was growing up. Just a lot of crazy, weird, and scary times. That's what started my interest in militaria. And items like this really interest me. I just don't know how rare something like this is, or if there's even a market for it.
I mean, he was just so bad. Basically, he wanted to get rid of anybody they thought might have the possibility sometime in life of opposing him. So he destroyed just about everyone in the middle class. You know, you got Hitler, you got Stalin. I mean, he's up there with all those guys. The thing that I'm so baffled about, you're in battlefield conditions. Who would bring a painting with them?
Yeah.
And you can tell this was stretched on canvas. Was someone in a battlefield condition painting this?
Only thing I can come up with is that guy that painted it was in that bunker. And it brought the painting with him, like to honor his hero.
All right, so what do you want to do with it?
Well, I'd like to sell it.
Okay, and how much you want for it?
I was thinking $300 or $400.
Do you mind if I have someone look at this?
Oh, please,
I'm
yeah.
sort of baffled by it.
Yeah, that would be great to do.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. He wants to call an expert today and to check out the painting and see what it's all about, so that's fine. That's a good idea.
Very nice.
His story is he got it in, what, 65, you said?
No, 70 in Cambodian bunker. Gawalka complex, yeah.
Okay. That's quite possible. Do you mind if I turn around and take a look at it?
Ahead.
The thing is, with Ho Chi Minh, the Vietnamese Communist Party created a cult of personality around him. He was the image of resistance to all outside forces. You know, this is a man who was born in 1890, who ended up leaving Vietnam and going around the world as a merchant seaman. Ended up at one point in New York for a while, ended up in London as an assistant pastry chef. And then when the communists took over in Russia, he ended up eventually going to Russia, becoming a part of the Comintern.
So what is the Comintern?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people thought of it that way. That was the organization that Russia set up to encourage revolts throughout the world. He was an interesting guy in that he was a little tiny guy. And he always projected this image. It was always to show him as Uncle Ho. And it might be of Ho, you know, talking to little children or portraits like this. Yet this is the man that's credited for defeating the United States when we went in there.
And this guy was one of the most evil guys ever existed.
He did not care two hoots about anything that needed to be done.
Classic example, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
So what do you think?
Yeah, it's obviously a reproduction of a poster. Something like this would have been done, you know, just as a way of honoring Uncle Ho. They would put posters everywhere they could. So the fact that this was in a bunker where obviously probably Viet Cong were in there.
Sure. It was Cambodia, so they were filtering troops down.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
This would have been a pretty common thing, though.
Yes, unfortunately, that's the case. In fact, you can still buy similar paintings if you go to Vietnam today.
Oh.
You know, the cult of Ho Chi Minh is still there.
All right. Thanks, man.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Not a
Thank you,
problem.
Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting piece.
Yes, sir.
The cult of personality that still exists in Vietnam today around Ho Chi Minh is evidenced often in pieces like this. You know, his image is still that iconographic there.
I want to know, is there a gazillion of them out there? And obviously there are. I don't think I'm going to be able to make you an offer on it. It's a very interesting piece, and it should be hung in a museum somewhere, I'll tell you that. But thanks for bringing it in.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little disappointed he didn't buy it, because I figured it was worth a little something to him, but if he didn't want it in his store, I understand, no problem.
Morning.
Morning.
My name's Uncle Phil.
Okay, Uncle Phil.
I have a 1932 Lincoln Convertible V12.
Yeah, that's a cool car.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, just come around back.
Okay, fine. All right.
This should be interesting. Lincoln made some of the coolest cars ever made in the 1930s. Wow.
This is a Kiss Meow.
I came here to the pawn shop to sell my 1932 Lincoln Roadster. I want to sell it because it never sees the light of day. It should be seen. I want to sell the car for $100,000.
Where in the world did you get this?
I got it about 10 years ago out of a museum.
This is a classic car, Rick.
The 30s was the golden age of cars.
Yeah.
It was when cars really began to have style.
You know, 1932 was the Depression. 20% of the Americans were out of work.
It's crazy that Lincoln made this badass ride at the height of the Great Depression. But think about it, since there was fewer buyers for luxury cars back then, automakers had to go all out to compete for their business.
I mean, the interior is pretty clean. There's some minor cosmetic things. You can see how this metal needs to be polished out.
Yeah.
Same with the dash, the metal on the steering wheel. Okay, this was the rumble seat. This wasn't called the trunk. This was the rumble seat because it was a rumbly ride.
Yeah.
And this platform is where you strapped a trunk to.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why we call them trunks of cars now, because trunks used to sit on the back of cars. Do you mind if I look at the engine?
No, come on.
V12.
I imagine probably puts out like 150 horsepower. And the reason they put out a small amount of horsepower for such a big engine was because it was really poor quality gasoline. These days, we have a lot better gasoline. This car is in shockingly good shape for something that's nearly 80 years old. In perfect condition, this could sell as high as 170 grand at auction. But this is not in perfect condition, so buying this is a little scary. There's a very limited market.
So what do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
Okay, and how much do you want for it?
I want $100,000.
Okay. There's some cosmetic things that need to be done to this. Overall, it's 95%, but that other 5% is going to cost me 10 grand. I'll give you 85,000 for it.
No.
I'll give you 90,000.
No, I'll take 100,000.
I'll do 95, and that's it.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to take it home.
I really hate when people won't negotiate. I mean, this is a pawn shop. You don't come in here unless you're willing to deal a little. The trick is, everybody's got something they want. What's it going to take to close this deal?
I'll tell you what. I like you guys. I know you have a lot of gold, and I'd like to trade it for gold.
Gold prices are skyrocketing, and a lot of people are investing in it right now. Legally, I can't swap the gold for the car, but once I give him cash, he can turn right around and buy the gold off me.
We could do gold. Will you take 95?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Deal.
Here we go. One more.
One more time.
I think gold is the best investment you can make today. A dollar doesn't buy much nowadays, and everybody's after gold.
95,000 for the car.
95,000 for the car. Give me gold.
You want gold?
Gold,
I'll
yeah.
get gold.
Okay, good. And a security guard.
We got one of those right there.
Where is he? Where is he?
I can't believe I just spent $95,000 on a car. That is a huge investment. I'm psyched, but I got to admit, I'm a little nervous.
All right, this might not seem like a lot, but each one of these contain an ounce of gold, $1,550 an ounce.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So do the math. We have a lot of cash here.
I deal in gold here all the time. Coins like Cougarans and $20 gold pieces, I'm always stocked up.
Here you go.
Okay. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate the business.
I think I'll bury the gold somewhere where nobody can get it. Huh?
Wow. That is,
Got a really old John Deere motor that can make ice cream.
what's this thing? 1 horsepower?
1.5. Rick, did you just miss what he said?
What?
It makes ice cream. It's a 1931 John Deere hit-miss motor. I restored the motor, and then I built the card and bought an ice cream maker and built the pulley system to hook it all together. I wanted to sell it just because I've got a couple more motors in line to rebuild and maybe make some more.
I absolutely love it. This must have been one of the last hit and miss motors they made, right?
Pretty close.
What the hell's a hit and miss?
Hit and misses were basically like the first gasoline motors, and they were massively reliable and actually pretty fuel efficient. In the early 1900s, probably half the farms in this country had a hit and miss engine. But this thing did not roll off the assembly line with an ice cream maker on it. This guy came up with the idea himself. So have you actually made ice cream with it?
I've made ice cream with it.
You know what they call ice cream when they make it with goat milk?
What?
Ice cream.
So what do you want to do with it?
Looking to sell it.
How much you want?
$3,500.
Ooh. What's your best price, though?
Best price is $2,500. Have all your friends over, you'll be the hit of the party.
Yeah, one of my friend's kids will stick their arm in that thing, and I'll get sued, and I'll be poor. I'll give you $1,800 for it.
Can't do that. Gotta come up a little bit. $2,500.
Okay, it's just a really limited market, okay? And 99% of the people in this country, they look at that thing and they have no idea what the hell it is.
The motor's worth $2,000. I mean, that's good. That's got to be my bottom dollar, is $2,000.
All right, I'll do $2,000.
There we go.
You know what? He wants to nerd out on this. I'll write you a. You got your ID and everything?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna nerd out.
You're not gonna nerd out on this.
A little bit.
I think they would have paid a little bit more if they got to taste some ice cream. But I settled for $2,000, so I feel pretty good.
Well, that's big. What'd you do, ride this thing here?
I did, yes.
Interesting toy. What do we got?
It is a 1950s atomic cannon.
I mean, it kind of isn't fair to show up to your friends playing Army Men when have this thing.
No, it'd be world dominance for sure. I'm here at the pawn shop today to try to sell my ideal atomic cannon made in 1958. The atomic cannon was a really cool toy. This will actually shoot a missile about 25 feet, and it's in near perfect condition in its original box. I'm selling the toy today because I have a daughter going off to college in the fall. I'm asking $550 for my atomic cannon today.
Definitely a really cool, big toy. It's from Ideal. I can see it on the box. Ideal is one of those timeless American companies. I think they started in a candy shop where they sold stuffed bears. They started making the teddy bear after Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt liked the idea, let him go ahead and keep doing it, and they sold so many that they started Ideal Toys.
Very cool.
Went on to make everything from bedwetting dolls to Rubik's Cubes to stuff like this. Pretty much, if it was a toy, they made it at some point. So did you ever play with it? Does it shoot still, or?
It does work. When I picked it up, the guy showed me how it works, and it was just a really cool toy that I hadn't seen before.
I mean, it definitely is really cool, and stuff like this makes sense when you think about it. You know, dads would come home from the war, you know, in this case, probably Korea from the time it was made. The dad would tell the kid, you know, I drove one of those in, you know, the Korean War. You know, kids like to play with those kind of toys. I mean, Army men are still around.
Right. My dad actually was in the Korean War, so that's what it appealed to me, too.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a look at it a little bit?
No, help yourself.
Okay. I mean, it's in perfect shape. I can't see anything wrong with it. I mean, it looks like it's been taken out and kind of messed with a little bit, but this was not rolled off the kitchen table a bunch of times.
No, I don't think he played in the backyard in the dirt pile with it.
And it's cool that you have the box, too. Toy collectors love the box.
Absolutely.
What do you want to do with something like this?
I'd like to sell it.
Any idea what you're looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get $550 for it.
$550.
Because it's still got the box.
Okay, you know, I'm definitely interested in it, man. I just, when it comes to these early toys, there's a massive collector's market out there, and just because I think it's really cool doesn't mean it's worth a lot of money.
Sure.
My buddy Steve will know the answer to that exact question, so do you mind if I call him down?
No, that'd be great.
Okay, well, hang out. I'll be back in a few.
Okay, thank you. I'm very anxious to hear what the expert has to say today. This is a rare toy, and I'd like to hear what he says about it.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Corey. How's it going?
Good.
Well, here we go.
You said you had something big for me, and yeah, you did.
So it's a cannon from 1958 made by Ideal Toys.
Very nice. So Ideal was making like really realistic toys at the time. Kids had just learned a lot about war. They actually were studying a lot of stuff in school. This is one of those items that, you know, you could play with this thing and it was super functional. You would load it up, you would fire it off, and it would actually shoot fairly far. I'd say you'd probably get a good 30, 40 feet of shot off of the actual missiles going. If you played with it and you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could put your eye out. Now, what's really unique is the size of this didn't necessarily fit most toy stores' shelves at the time. So it wasn't as readily available in the market as some of the other Ideal toys or some of the other military toys made at the time. And they're usually pretty beat up. So to see one that's in pretty good condition here, I think that says a lot that this item just didn't get played with much.
Okay, so what about collectability?
It's a small collector market relative to toy collectors because of the size. It's a huge toy. I always say that a collector's biggest enemy is space. And so it does limit the market a little bit there. But the military collector and the toy collector is definitely something they're gonna have to have.
All right, that being said, what do you think it's worth?
So I've seen these go upwards of $500 to $600. Unfortunately, that's not where the market's at currently for it. But it's nice to see that the box is here in decent condition. I would say the shop's gonna have no problem getting $300 for this item.
Okay, appreciate you coming down.
No problem, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, I know what you were looking for, and you heard what my guy said I could sell it for. I'd offer you about 150 bucks.
I understand, but your expert did say that because of its size, toy stores didn't carry as many. So I think that makes it a little bit more rare, and I wish he'd have touched on the box a little bit more, because it's 65 years old.
I understand. You know, he says I can sell it for 300. That's what I got to go with, and I got to make a profit at that.
I understand. 250?
You know what? I think it's cool. So 250 bucks, you got a deal.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Meet me right over there. We got to do some paperwork.
Okay, thank you. Today's sale wasn't exactly ideal, but I did make a little bit of money, and this will help towards my daughter's college expenses.